All right, no one woke up in Washington this morning feeling good about a debt deal. The Tea Party has been associated with a lot of the discontent about the way the process works on Capitol Hill. But truthfully, at this point, when it comes to ideology, it's the progressives who feel the most ignored and left out in this current debate. Vermont's liberal independent Senator Bernie Sanders serves on the Budget Committee and calls the deal a huge victory, but not for his party, not for America, but for the Republicans. You care to explain?
Well, it's what it is a defeat for ordinary Americans and a huge victory for the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. Dylan, every single poll that's been out there says that the American people believe in shared sacrifice. They believe that if we're going to deal with deficit reduction, it has got to ask very wealthy people and large corporations to also sacrifice, to pay more in taxes, that you can't move toward a balanced budget just on the backs of the sick, the elderly, the children, and low-income people. At the end of the day, what this proposal is about is that the wealthy, the millionaires, the billionaires, the oil companies, the large corporations that in some cases pay nothing in taxes will not contribute 1 penny toward deficit reduction. But middle-class and working-class people who have been decimated by this recession, who have lost their jobs, lost their homes, where we have the highest rate of childhood poverty in the industrialized world, those are the people who are going to have to suffer through deficit reduction because they are the people who are being targeted.
As you probably have heard me, Senator Sanders, it seems to me that instead of working toward a shared prosperity agenda as a group of people, forget shared sacrifice for a minute, a shared prosperity agenda, where our goal is full employment, available health care, clean, independent energy, and we all are humble enough to say, I don't know how to get there. It's like going to the moon. But I do know that if we don't share certain values like integrity and aligned interests, we will never solve these problems. And it appears we have neither the values nor the destination. We're just manipulating ideas and mechanics for power. Is this the country that you grew up in?
I look at it a little bit differently, Dylan. It's not that I disagree with you. I just look at it differently. The reality here, I'm in the United States Senate, is what I know is that the people who have the money, the big money guys, their lobbyists, the big campaign contributions, they influence what goes on here to a significant degree. I think there are very few people in America who would say, let's cut Social Security benefits for a low-income senior citizen in 10 or 20 years, but at the same time, let's give the oil companies who make billions in profits and pay nothing in taxes on occasion a further tax break. Nobody believes that. But what happens here, the entire debate is being influenced by big money. You got a very strong and aggressive Tea Party, which is holding the line, and in effect, representing the wealthy and the very large corporations.
Well, the Tea Party would argue that, and maybe in effect that may be what is happening, in the sense that you're arguing what they're doing is advancing those policies that benefit those institutions. But do you believe that people that have joined up with that Tea Party in their minds, it's hard for any of us to know, I suppose, but the optics for me have been people that are angry at an unjust system and don't know what to do about that, and so they want to shut it down, which is like burning yourself in the town square to solve a problem.
I would agree with you. Look, to the degree that you have working class people, I'll give you an example. There was a poll that came out a few months ago, and they asked people sympathetic to the Tea Party, do you want to cut Medicare and Medicaid? Overwhelmingly, they said no. The Tea Party is a manifestation of the extreme anger and frustration that working class people are seeing in this country. And what people are seeing, my job has gone to China, I can't afford to send my kid to college, we're not addressing global warming, we're not protecting our children. What is going on? The rich are getting richer, everybody else is getting poorer. And you're right. I think that frustration has taken folks into a Tea Party movement which says the problem is shut the government down. Government is terrible. And what they are really inadvertently saying is, let's give more power to our good, wonderful friends on Wall Street who stay up nights worrying about working families.
Yeah.
Let's, no,
I get it. It's basically you have the energy there, and instead of it taking a creative path towards prosperity, it's taking a destructive path that has these issues. My last question for you, very quickly, you've said the president should be primaried. Do you believe that today, and do you have any ideas as to who would do it?
Somebody asked me a question. I think the president should be held accountable for the things he said during the campaign and what he is doing right now. And one of the issues that has bothered me the most is Social Security has not contributed one nickel to the deficit, has a $2.6 trillion surplus. The president has suggested that we should make cuts in Social Security. He has suggested that we should raise the eligibility age for Medicare from 65 to 67. He has got to be held accountable for those statements compared to what he said during the campaign.
I agree with that, Senator, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk with you. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
All right.